나발랭게 사말로라야 삼디 디스레제 슈웨인 nga chujuduji kozang genzoyin Terin gelenje sero nang gelezendi nang kesa nyedong ni senga daba chujibe cheju resa dewe ning gongdu chuzu tukbe to pimi dikzugi benden Sikyong pepesring chogi zamling nang nyanda jingi hawar sokla lopda cheme nang zinju pimi mengzu pirimgi jushi to sushin nang song Kesaki Sushi Nangwe Chogang Din Nang, Tanga Chikdong Gubya Guju Kongal, Jino Konsa Kyamgun Chimpu Chogi, Pege Dumen Kor Songshi, Nang de Long Sumjuji, Pimbi Dikzugi, Chepsi Mine, Pedun da Debe Kor, Songshi Nangwashik Chadu. Bende Sikyong Chogi, Songshi Dang, Tibe Lendep Chatsangwashik, Habar Zokla Lopda Chimu, Dage Nang, Yana YouTube Nang, Sinsi Tupire. Shamla Bende Sikyong Chogi Gyanao Kor Songshi Nangwe Nindung Surdun Shubashi Shamla Sisi Yomashu.
Don't forget to silence your cell phones, and please join me in welcoming Harvard undergraduate Tenzin Yiga.
Thank you, Kawsar. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the John F. Kennedy Junior Forum at the Institute of Politics. My name is Tenzin Yiga, and I'm a junior at the college studying social studies and philosophy. As one of the only Tibetan students at Harvard, this evening carries a deep personal significance for me. Growing up in exile, I was raised in a community that has built its democracy without a homeland due to China's invasion of Tibet in 1959. This democracy lives through the voices and the vision of the Tibetan people around the world. A vision crafted by His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, and sustained by the faith, civic participation, and unyielding belief in our collective future. Now please join me in welcoming to the stage Sikyong, President of the Central Tibetan Administration, and our moderator, Ned Price.
Well, I want to once again thank the Sikyong for being here tonight, not only in the midst of what is a very busy month-long travel schedule across Europe and North America, but also for rearranging his schedule on our behalf. I'll start with a few questions of my own, and then of course, as we always do here in the forum, we'll open it up to audience questions towards the latter half of this evening.
Some several countries, they have no inkling of what the Chinese government is doing around the world. So we have to speak more, not just about Tibet, not just about Uyghur, but the holistic issue about how China is trying to influence the world. So right now we are suffering. Tomorrow it could be Americans, it could be Europeans, who knows? If you look at all the global initiatives that Chinese government is talking about now, last September they talked about the global governance system and exporting these governance. So, and it's very, very, not very specific. It can be interpreted in so many different ways, so they keep doing this, spreading their version of what they want, global security initiative, global civilizational, global cultural initiative, now global governance initiative. So if you look at all these, then see how Chinese government is motivated to do all these things and make other people know. When I was in Mexico, I told them, your business, if you kowtow more to the Chinese, then you will become a donkey. I keep saying, you are right now a human being on two legs. You kowtow to the Chinese more, your hands will also become legs. Then you will become like a donkey, and the Chinese government will keep riding you. Because Chinese government respects only strength, not weakness. And some of my friends, I keep repeating this because it makes sense. Some of my friends say, oh, the dragon is biting at us. Then I tell them, dragon at one time was very weak. Who made the dragon so powerful to be able to bite back at you? It was America. You don't have to read too many books. Just read one book, Kissinger on China. It's Europeans' investment in China. It's Japanese, Taiwanese. All the democracies are making authoritarian strong. Now knowing that the dragon is biting at you, if you still keep feeding the dragon, then whose fault is it? So these are the things that we need to tell the world about what China is doing in Asia with the Belt and Road Initiative, creating all these dead economies, taking over strategic ports and airports in the region for them to gain more leverage militarily, around the world. What China is doing with its hegemonistic ambitions in Asia, with Japan having to spend more, even being a pacifist state. Taiwan has to spend. New Zealand, for New Zealand, security was never an issue. Now it is becoming one. For Australia also, it was never. Now they are buying 7 nuclear submarines to protect against whom? China. Then you have these ongoing problems with Philippines and China and all these South China countries, Malaysia, Vietnam, Brunei, even India now is spending so much money on the Himalayas, because I keep traveling from Arunachal Pradesh to Ladakh, to fulfill my emotional needs and also to take care of my people, because I was born outside Tibet, never seen Tibet, so I go on the border to see Tibet from the border over the fence. So we need to keep telling these stories, use these transnational repression issues to our advantage. If I can recommend one book, you should read this Hidden Hand by Dr. America Allberg and an Australian. So this talks about the structure of the Chinese Communist Party in China and how they use all these instruments, particularly the United Foreign Work Department, in so many different countries, in so many different ways. Now it's not just political, it's cultural, it's business, it's educational, finance, everywhere China's hands are there. So now many countries are doing a lot of studies on how China is trying to influencing their own country, and I recommend every country to do that. Even in Mexico, I was saying you should have think tanks, because politicians don't have time. So think tanks study China and make recommendations to the politicians to make the right decisions, if the politicians have the right mind to do it. If they are benefiting from China's things, but again, it should not be directed towards the Chinese people. Chinese people are also suffering, like us. Maybe not to the extent like Uyghurs and Tibetans and Mongols, but Chinese ordinary people also don't have the freedom to speak their mind. They also want change, but they are not able to speak out. So we have to use all these negativities, all these negative things that China is doing in a positive way to spread the message of what China is doing around the world and to gain support for ourselves. Also, keep our spirits high. As His Holiness says, never give up. We will never give up. We have to keep fighting. And there will be a day when there's freedom for Chinese people, for Tibetan people, for Uyghur people, and all other suppressed people around the world. And we should set an example of using non-violence as a means to resolve this, not violence, because violence breeds more violence. As Mahatma Gandhi said, an eye for an eye will make the whole world blind. So I think we should follow the wisdom of His Holiness to resolve problems in a negotiated and mutually beneficial way.
Well, I think that is the appropriate note on which we should conclude, especially as I understand you are going right to the airport to continue your global trek. Sikyong, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for the kind words you said at the top about Seti Warren, someone, a leader here who meant so much to so many of us. I also want to thank you for the work that His Holiness and that the Tibetan people around the world are doing, and most importantly, the example they're setting for all of us. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lasa.